Welcome back to An Audience of One by JannahVersity, in which we deliver spiritually uplifting and motivational content to individuals who need a reminder that they have worth, that they have value, and a gift that they need to share with the world. And that no matter how many mistakes that they've made, that it's never too late to make today the day that they change their lives. If you haven't done so already, you need to take some time to ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? What are your goals? What legacy do you want to leave after you're gone? At the end of the day, what are you doing here? Are you just here to grind day in and day out? Are you here to make somebody else rich? Are you here to help people? Are you here to help your community? Are you here to leave your kids with a better life than the one that you had? What are your goals? Because at the end of the day, you need to know where you're going with your efforts, because you can't draw a map for a destination that doesn't exist. Are you going to have goals like we talked about? Are you going to put together a plan in order to develop your spirituality, to correct and perfect your character, to find financial stability or freedom, a plan towards action that's going to have a positive impact on you, your family, and the society around you? You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to everyone who's ever supported you. You owe it to the people who don't even yet know you, but will benefit from the greatest and most successful version of you once you bring forth your gifts to the world. And once you decide on these goals and you start to correct yourself, and especially once you start to have success in your efforts, your natural instinct is going to be to want to share that with people. You're going to want to share your goals, share your progress, share your efforts, as you want them to know about how you've left that old version of you behind, and you want to let them know where you're going. But it is important that as you formulate these goals and as you decide on who it is that you want to be and what it is that you want to do, that it is extremely important that you seek success in secrecy, meaning that it is very important that you do not tell everyone what it is that you are trying to do, and that you do not broadcast your plan to everyone that will listen. And there are many reasons for that. The first is that when you telegraph your intended actions, it is a major source to kill your motivation. It is proven that the second you tell someone that you are planning on acting on something, the less likely you are to do it, because the act of telling someone your intention takes the psychological place of actually acting upon it. So you get that good feeling of telling someone that you're going to do something instead of getting that feeling from actually doing it. You have to remember that you don't need cheerleaders on this journey, so there's no need for you to broadcast your plan to others. Let them find out on their own when your actions have helped you to accomplish your goals and change your life. You're going to find that the more people you tell, the more people you're going to continue to tell. And if you find that you continue to tell people, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, know that you're in danger of doing nothing. So stop talking and just go do it. Don't talk to another soul until it's done. Another reason you don't want to tell everyone what you're doing is because oftentimes people's reactions can sabotage your efforts. Sometimes people will try to put you down. They'll find all sorts of different ways to try and tell you that you suck, that you're not capable. They may even think that the goal is a good idea. They just don't think that you doing it is, for whatever reason. Sometimes they'll put you down because the act of you trying to better yourself in some way makes them feel insecure about themselves, especially if they're in a similar situation as you are. And so by you trying to better your life, they see it as an attack on their own situation. And rather than change their own situation and go through the difficulties of trying to better themselves, they'd rather put you down, even in subtle ways, by saying things like, you're fine the way you are. Don't put yourself through all that trouble. If you continue to listen to this garbage, you'll start to question yourself. Maybe you're not capable. Maybe it isn't a good idea. And now you've taken a goal that not only is attainable, but could change your life. And at least you've delayed it. And at worst, you've given up on it completely because of some clowns in the audience to your show who don't think you're capable. And at the very worst, you give up on yourself. Because if you keep listening to these idiots, eventually you'll believe the things that they say. Sometimes they put the goal down. You're okay, but the goal is just a dumb idea. It sucks. It'll never work. There's a reason why nobody's ever tried that. Or somebody's already done it. The market's too saturated. And when you listen to this nonsense, instead of getting busy and getting after it, you're back to the drawing board looking for a new idea to suggest to your fake friends who are inevitably going to shut it down. You do this enough times and eventually you'll start to think that you're incapable of coming up with good ideas. Sometimes they put you both down. That's a dumb idea, and even if it was a good idea, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. We've had this discussion before in a previous episode, so if you need a reminder, go back and listen to it. But the short of it is, Get these losers out of your life. You need to believe in yourself and you need to believe in your ideas, because if you don't believe in the both of them at the same time, you're destined to fail. No one ever hit a home run with their eyes closed, swinging the bat saying, I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss. You need to keep your eye on the ball and swing for the fences with the belief that you're going to knock it out of the park. And if you miss this time, you swing at the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until eventually you hit it out of the park. Because if you're going to fail 999 times, you might as well get those 999 times out of the way as fast as possible. And if you knew that at the 1,000th time you were going to knock it out of the park, you wouldn't stress at any of the at-bats that came before it. And I guarantee you that you will be an amazing individual if you make that many attempts and try to learn from every single mistake, be it in your financial, personal, relational, or spiritual goals. Another reason you don't want to try and tell the world all of your goals is because sometimes they'll try and steal it from you, especially if it's a good one. So don't be so quick to tell everybody your plans, especially if they're capable of taking your spot if there's only one, or setting up shop before you have a chance to even establish yours. Sometimes you don't want to tell people what you're up to because there's people out there that will try to create obstacles for you. I hate to make you feel like everybody out there is out to get you, because they're not, but there definitely are some people who will be. This could come from pure spite and hatred because of something that happened in the past. It could come from an angle of jealousy. Regardless, it's not important what angle it comes from. It's just important to know that it's possible to happen. Accomplishing anything can be difficult. And the greater the deed, the greater the trials that you're going to face. And so if you're going to be facing trials by default, there's no need for you to be inviting additional trials. Sometimes you have people that belittle your efforts. They attack the amount of time that you've spent on whatever it is that you're working towards. They say things like, man, you've been working on that forever. Maybe they attacked your results or your product. And they say, look at what you've accomplished after all this time. That's it? Again, get these losers out of your life. There are way too many excellent people out in the world to be wasting your time on these types. So regardless of whether your ideas are great or not, or if you're capable or not, there's no benefit in telling others what it is that you plan to do with your life, what your goals are, and what you're trying to accomplish. So don't let them know what you're planning or doing. Let them find out what the result when it comes. If your ideas or your efforts fail, your efforts are still fruitful in the fact that you learn so much through the process that's going to make you more capable towards future efforts. Don't let someone else's opinion or jealousy prevent you from going through that process. If you suck, you're only going to improve the more that you try, and you're going to suck less through your efforts. And if it's going to take you 999 tries until you stop sucking, then hurry up and get those 999 tries out of the way. If these people are going to try and sabotage you, they cannot sabotage what they don't know exists. So get these people out of your life, and they won't have access to you or your ideas. Trust yourself. You most likely got you this far. You, nobody else. You've been in a lonely state for a long time because you've been doing the wrong thing and you've been failing yourself. You had nobody because nobody wants to be around a nobody. But start getting your act together and these people will come out of the woodwork. So don't let these jokers back into your life just so that they can sabotage your efforts. Many a brilliant idea have been crushed by naysayers before they ever had the chance to take off. Nearly every great idea was called a bad idea before it took off. Aim for the stars, and the very least that you'll get is the opportunity to develop your character and your skills so that at the next attempt it brings you closer to your goal. And you never know. Maybe you'll knock it out of the park on your first try, but you'll certainly never do it if you don't try. And you can't really try unless you put in your best effort. And you can't put in your best effort if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe in your goals. So get out there and get after it.